All right, Mavs Nation. Come on, let's talk real quick. So, I haven't spoken to y'all in a while, but man, look, I appreciate everybody for tapping in with me. So, let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks situation so far. Talk about the season so far, but more so talk about the roster. Okay, addressing the roster and how this team is going to look moving forward for the rest of the season. Right. So tonight we do have the New York Knicks, and Cooper Flag is going to miss his first game of his career. Okay, and look, man, this Anthony Davis situation is looking real weird right now because it's been reported by ESPN that there's possible trade talks. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have traded for Anthony Davis, but we shouldn't have traded away Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. We should have traded away Kyrie Irving for Anthony Davis, right? So, right trade, wrong player. And look, I get out of optimism about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, is a peacemaker these days. He's a good leader, a good locker room guy these days, and things like that, all that, right? Kyrie Irving, the man, has definitely progressed throughout the years. But at the end of the day, man, he's Kyrie Irving, bro. And I kind of was skeptical if he was going to return this season or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's 100% or not. Based on the trajectory of the season, bro, like we're a losing team right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Anthony Davis is nursing a sore Achilles. Kyrie Irving is nursing an ACL tear. And although Luka Doncic had his fair share of injuries on his way out the door from here, Luka Doncic never had to go underneath the knife. Not one injury that Luka Doncic had to where he had to pretty much require surgery. Right? So we should have traded Kyrie Irving for AD, not Luka for AD. That was the move. And also, many people gonna disagree with me on this, but like I think the timing of the firing of Nico Harrison was awful. You know what I mean? Like, why did you fire Nico Harrison 10 games in the 7 games into the season? You know what I mean? Like, you might as well make Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks lay the bed, or the front office of the Dallas Mavericks pretty much laying the bed that they made. You know what I mean? Like, why did you fire Nico Harrison at the time you did? If you were gonna fire Nico Harrison, you should have fired Nico Harrison the day we lost to the Memphis Grizzlies after the playing tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been more perfect timing to fire Nico Harrison. But it's like, okay, now you give him the opportunity to at least the duration of the season to fix what he kind of pretty much made. You know what I'm saying? His errors at or his mistakes at. I don't see the point of firing him that early in the season. What are you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? Get worse? Like, guys, I really just don't disagree with the whole like thing. Like, okay, like maybe with some issues with the medical staff and the doctors and team doctors with Luka Doncic and things like that about how he wanted to nurse and rehabilitate some of his injuries. Okay, cool. But like to say like, oh, like we're giving up on Luka Doncic due to he comes in fat shape, fat and out of shape all the time. He doesn't really say they have the discipline and the mind frame to kind of pretty much get into the best shape possible so he can prevent these injuries from reoccurring and more regularity. But you traded for somebody that, you know what I'm saying, isn't much different from that cloth, right? You said you want somebody who's a hard worker or someone who resembles, strong blue collar work ethic. And Anthony Davis is not that guy. Guys, I got videos of this on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok, about Anthony Davis coming out and saying, I haven't touched the basketball so long. Now, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? Anthony Davis is still a great player when he's healthy. Obviously, he's gonna be a future Hall of Famer. But like it's like we're so focused on the good that we're seeing from Cooper Flag and so much of the positive that we see from Cooper Flag that we neglect and forget what the whole agenda and plan was. The plan was to have more of this blue collar strong front court team built around the backs of the front court, the Anthony Davis to go along with a Derek Lively and a Daniel Gafford, right? Which means Anthony Davis is gonna be back at power forward, which he's best at, right? To go along with the Kyrie Irving, the PJ Washington, some of these long, small forwards that we have, right? Guys like Najee Marshall, right? To go along with the spot of shooting Klay Thompson. That was the whole plan and idea, right? But that plan is unfortunately not working so far. And now we're building around Cooper Flag. Right, so we're building around Cooper Flag now. Um, we basically traded away our superstar player to kind of pretty much build around Cooper Flag. So that's what we're doing. We're in the Cooper Flag era. You know what I'm saying? That I think the AD and Kyrie project is kind of pretty much went down the drain in my eyes. I don't see us bouncing back from this. Because the Western Conference isn't getting any worse. You know what I'm saying? It's getting better. So and other teams have young talent just like we do. You know what I'm saying? But their young talent is kind of pretty much scratching the surface of like we're ready to contend for a title. You know what I mean? Versus we're still like having to rebuild back up because we gave away our young prodigy. So yeah, man, I just think it's just a whole lot of different, things going on with the Dallas Mavericks that's gonna be very hard to overcome. Very hard to overcome. Kind of late because he's been playing better recently. But I kind of wanted to address this at the same time. So Klay Thompson, man, look, guys, I think we have to understand that, like, look, man, due to the injuries to his lower body and due to the strength of his game, you know what I'm saying, coming off screens and being a very catch and shoot kind of player, you know what I'm saying, and being great at that, one of the most elite at that the NBA has ever seen. We have to understand that like Klay Thompson, in my eyes, when he came to the Dallas Mavericks, in my eyes, his last season at the Golden State Warriors, he wasn't starting player material. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been showed us that he isn't capable of starting in this league anymore. He's more of a rotational guy, and his role is very limited. I don't think he's a volume shooter anymore. Yeah, like I said before, like I just don't think Klay Thompson is somebody who's a volume shooter, and I think losing a somebody who's a primary scorer like a Luka Doncic, and then also losing somebody like a Kyrie Irving, kind of really put Klay Thompson in that position in certain predicaments, in certain scenarios, in certain situations, to where he had to, you know, give the Dallas Mavericks a good 20-point game. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Klay Thompson at this point of his career is meant for that. I think Klay Thompson at this point of his career is somebody that can give you a solid 10 to 15 points a night. Asking Klay Thompson to kind of pretty much be a volume shooter like he once was before is an unreal expectation. And so since he isn't that, you know what I'm saying, not only because he isn't that from a physical standpoint, it's just an unreal expectation placed on Klay. Now, guys, I made some videos in the past because I watched the press conference of the Dallas Mavericks post NBA draft, and I saw Jason Kidd pretty much talking about Cooper Flag as a player and how we would like to utilize Cooper Flag as somewhat in that point forward position, similar to how he kind of pretty much got Giannis going in Milwaukee right before he was fired as the head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. And as we saw in the first couple of games, Brandon Williams, Jaden Hardy, and D'Angelo Russell weren't getting that much playing time because Jason Kidd was trying his whole project with trying to make Cooper Flag and groom him into being a point forward. And obviously, that trial was aired and done. And I think ever since he started getting Brandon Williams more minutes and also D'Lo more minutes, I think the team has definitely played a lot better. Now, are we winning? No, but we're playing better, right? So that's one idea I think Jason Kidd kind of put to bed right there, and I think I like the new adjustments. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below, man. Follow me on every social media platform at Jabari Showtime. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Appreciate y'all that support the content. Um, Continue looking forward to making some more good content on this Dallas Mavericks season, also my Dallas Cowboys, and dipping dab with some other teams as well, and also some other content as well, man. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all think, man. My expectations for the Dallas Mavericks this season is kind of pretty much gone out the door. So I don't really expect much. I just want to see them enjoy some good quality basketball. Like I was watching the play-in tournament game last Friday against the LA Clippers, man, and I just enjoyed some good basketball, some good competitive basketball. Win, lose, or draw. That's all I want to see is some good competitive basketball. If we win, we win. Hey, if we lose, we lose. That's fine with me. I just want to enjoy some good basketball, y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. How do the Dallas Mavericks look? Peace.